Hey, my name is Lockie, and you're watching Coast Watch Football, your home for all things A-League Men's. And we're going to jump into today our preview and predictions for round 15 of the A-League Men's competition. Let's jump into it right now. On Friday night, Melbourne City, Newcastle Jets. Now, this is quite a fascinating fixture because both teams have had mixed form at the moment, especially when you look at just the recent fixtures in the past week. Melbourne City, of course, one of the leading sides in the competition at the moment. Newcastle have been a bit up and down, have showed promising signs, but look, got a big win against Melbourne Victory last round. We have to bring that up right at the top. A fantastic win for Newcastle Jets. Of course, these sides just met 10 days ago up there in the hunt. Newcastle losing out in that game. City grabbing a big 4-2 win. City were really turning it on in that game, as they did as well in the Wanderers game. But of course, Melbourne City coming off that midweek loss to Adelaide, which they'll be disappointed with because, in my opinion, Melbourne City were building some really good form and they were playing some really good football. Matt Leckie, getting back to the swing of things. Florin Berengay at the moment is arguably the best midfielder in the league for Melbourne City, but slipping to Adelaide United. Again, it was a late show for the Reds on Tuesday night. And of course, the Jets, as we mentioned just a moment ago, won last week at Amy Park, 2-1 against Victory. So they know what it feels like to win at Amy Park. They just did it last week. So look, there's potential for the Jets to snag a result here as well. I think Newcastle Jets fans will be feeling optimistic heading into this game. Of course, should mention here, top two strikers in the league are playing in this game. Jamie McLaren has 8 for Melbourne City, of course, leading the way in the goal-scoring charts, closely followed by Beckham Micheldatzi on 7. We could easily see both guys get on the score sheet in this game. I reckon we will. And of course, City will be potentially without the injured Jamison and Tilio. Both of those guys went off injured in the midweek game against Adelaide United. Big concern, especially Jamison, the captain, the left back. He's so consistent in that back line for the reigning champions, of course. And of course, we know the talent of the youngster Macarthur, but no doubt City have the depth to cover those sorts of injuries. So look, a fascinating game in terms of how this one will play out. I think we'll expect a similar sort of style of game to what we saw when Jets took on Melbourne Victory, where Victory were dominant for most of that game until that red card flipped the game. And Melbourne City, of course, love to control things at home and love to push forward regardless of the score line. But Newcastle Jets, man, they've got so much talent in their lineup, anything could happen. But I'm backing a City 2-1 win. That should be the scoreline. Like, realistically, City should win this game. But as I mentioned, Newcastle Jets could snag a result, but I'm still backing that City win. Let's shuffle right along to Saturday afternoon. Wellington Phoenix and Sydney FC are meeting at Leichhardt Oval. Of course, these two sides met back in round 5 in December. Sydney winning 2-1 in that game. That was an important win for Sydney. That was the first win of the season. But Sydney FC have won their last 4 games against Phoenix. Again, it's the story of this fixture that it really is dominated by the Sky Blues, and you can see here as well, Wellington's last win against Sydney was in 2018. It's been such a long time now for Wellington Phoenix. That includes home or away. Of course, they have been playing obviously all their fixtures over in Australia, almost all of them in the past couple of seasons. Both teams undefeated in the last 4 fixtures, which is promising heading into this game. That promises potentially an entertaining clash. Both teams have a lot to fight for. Wellington have been looking very good in recent weeks, and in my opinion, were unlucky not to defeat Adelaide United last weekend, just falling asleep right at the end. And Sydney FC, I mean, again, they've been looking good these last few weeks as well, and had an impressive performance against Western United, the top team in the competition, grabbing a 1-1 draw there, almost winning the game had they been a bit more clinical with some of those chances toward the end as well. So, look, should make for a really entertaining game. The last point here as well, potential debut for new signing Luciano Narsing. I think it's unlikely. We have heard that he will potentially arrive in the country this week, so whether they want to rush him in, get him straight into the lineup, potentially. Costa Barbarousse is potentially not too far away as well. So, my score prediction, I'm going for 1-1. I think Wellington Phoenix have shown enough quality in recent weeks to show that they can get results against good quality opposition. They did it against Victory. They did it against Western United. They could do it once again here against a very high-profile Sydney FC side. Saturday night, Macarthur FC, Adelaide United. Again, another one of these fascinating fixtures. So, 1 win for either side last season. Both the home sides winning in their matchups from last year. Macarthur, without a win, though, in their last 5 matches. That'll concern Ante Milicic. Obviously, some draws. They had that dramatic draw against Central Coast Mariners. lost last weekend 3-1 to Brisbane Roar. They've just been looking a little bit out of it these last couple of weeks, Macarthur FC. Adelaide United coming off that of course, a midweek away win to Melbourne City. Massive one for them. And Adelaide, this is worth pointing out. This is a big one. Adelaide have the best away record in the league right now. Yeah, now, yes, they have played 13 matches. Some teams, Perth Glory still only played, 8 matches. But look, 3 wins, 4 draws, only 1 loss away from home. 1 loss away from home. And you have to consider as well, all of their trips, of course, Adelaide, interstate trips. Compare that to some of the New South Wales teams who have a lot of, close by trips which don't involve as much travel. So it really is impressive from Carvert's side, their away form. So because of all these things, Macarthur's struggling at the moment. Adelaide, we know how strong they are, especially later on in games. I think the Reds could pick up a win here. I think they will. I think Macarthur will get on the score sheet. They no doubt they have the quality, of course, with Ulysses De Villa, Danny De Silva. There's so many attacking options. Craig Noon as well. We've seen some wonderful goals scored by Macarthur in the past couple of weeks. But Adelaide United, I think they'll grab the win here. I really, really do. So, it will be a really fascinating game, as will this next one, man. Melbourne Victory, Central Coast Mariners, the rematch of the FFA Cup final. Of course, my Central Coast Mariners hoping for a result in this game to get revenge over Melbourne Victory. And look, things are very different heading into this game compared to when these teams faced each other a few weeks ago. Both teams are without a win in their last 4 league fixtures, which is really surprising considering how both teams started the campaign, especially Melbourne Victory. I mean, were for maybe the first several weeks or so, like the best team in the competition. Everyone regarded them as that, but they've really slipped away now. They currently sit in 5th position on the ladder. Big pluses for both sides. Josh Brillante should be coming back from suspension. He'll be serving his suspension during the Wanderers midweek game. Jacob Farrell missed out. He accumulated number of yellow cards, of course, during these opening rounds. So Jacob Farrell, the left back, should be back for Central Coast Mariners as well. But of course, this is that last point there. Mariners haven't defeated Melbourne Victory, man. In Melbourne, since 2009, of course, we didn't manage to kick that unwanted stat in the FFA Cup final. And look, it's going to be tough for the Mariners to do it again here. Of course, Melbourne Victory at home in front of an impressive home crowd, as they have been. They've had fantastic crowds this season so far. Melbourne Victory, they'll be wanting a win, considering that they've been looking a little bit lackluster in recent weeks, and they'll be really disappointed to lose out to Newcastle Jets last week. A lot of refereeing decisions not going their way in that game. My prediction, though, I have to call a 1-1 draw. Yes, Mariners have been underperforming recently, but overall, not underperforming, but the results haven't been there. In their last 2 games, Macarthur FC, Mariners should have won, fell asleep at the end. Exact same story for Perth Glory. Should have won. I thought the Mariners game against Perth Glory was maybe one of their best performances for the season. Fell asleep at the end, and it cost them another 2 points. So, again, there's an incentive for Mariners they're going to be desperate to get the 3 points in this game, just to get that season back on track as well. But look, I think this is a chance, with Melbourne Victory struggling in recent weeks, for Mariners to grab a point here, which would be a valuable point for sure. Shuffling on to the Sunday fixtures right now. Let's do that. We've got, of course, Western United, Western Sydney Wanderers, the 2 teams who met just 2 weeks ago in Sydney, where Western United did pick up a gritty 1-0 win. Of course, Mark Rudan facing his former side once again already for the second time in just a couple of weeks, in his first few weeks in charge of the Western Sydney Wanderers. And of course, we know the issues going on at the Wanderers, second bottom on the ladder, struggling in the league. The thing that I've noticed from Western Sydney Wanderers in recent weeks, they are lacking quality at the back, defensive mistakes. We saw that last week against Melbourne City, and lack of confidence in attack as well, considering the high-profile names they have in Tom Ahmed, Dimitri Petratos, James Troisi. Kejiro Ogwa's looked good, but it's just not clicking, and the lack of confidence is the big thing. You can see these players just aren't quite gelling, aren't quite having the commitment or the drive to go and attack and win games, and it's hurting Western Sydney Wanderers, because they really well and truly have slipped down the ladder. Western United undefeated in the last 4 fixtures. Of course, that last defeat was against Wellington Phoenix quite a while ago now. The Wanderers, of course, only 1 win in the last 7 fixtures. That was that home win 1-0 against the struggling Perth Glory side. But look, in every other game, man, they've just been second best. And Mike Rudan, this is the perfect opportunity for him to turn it around. Returning back to Western United, where I'm sure the Western fans will be giving him quite the reception, and he would love the opportunity here. He would love for his Wanderers side to get a win against his former team. That is for sure. My score prediction, though, this has Western United to win written all over it, man. I mean, they absolutely should win this game. They're just performing so at the moment, so well organised. I'm backing a 2-0 Western United win. And then we're going to shuffle on to the last game of the weekend, Perth Glory, Brisbane Roar. Of course, as of this recording on Wednesday, no time or location announced for this fixture just yet, but likely to be played in Tasmania. So we can expect it to be played down there in Launceston. Of course, these sides met just 1 month ago in Brisbane, where the Roar won 1-0. But that was Perth's first game back for a long time off. Perth, again, had a little bit of a break there with some COVID cases a couple of weeks ago. First game back against the Mariners last week, where they were looking a little bit underdone, but still managed to grab an important point there at Central Coast. Potential return for Daniel Sturridge, who of course was one of those few players who did pick up COVID in the Glory camp. So whether he comes back, maybe we'll have to wait and see. Brisbane, though, have been looking impressive lately, and were very good, I thought, on the weekend against Macarthur FC, where they picked up a 3-1 win. They have 3 wins in the last 5 fixtures. That is pretty good for a side who was looking, it was the furthest thing from getting a win in their opening 4 or 5 fixtures. They weren't looking good at all. But Glory, of course, have 1 win in their last 5 fixtures. So when you compare the records for both two sides, and we know the issues going on with Perth Glory at the moment, and look, there's talk that potentially they'll be able to get home next month in March to play an extended run of home fixtures. Look, for Perth's sake, I hope that happens, man, because I really feel for the Perth players, coaching staff, and the fans, of course, as well. But look, Brisbane Roar, I'm going to back them for the win. I'm going to back them for the win. It's a similar thing to Wellington Phoenix, a team who were underperforming early on, but have shown in recent weeks there's enough reason there to believe that Brisbane Roar can pick up the 3 points in this game. It should be a close one. Both teams towards the bottom of the ladder. It would be a massive 3 points for Brisbane. Likewise, it would be for Perth Glory, but I think Brisbane, man, just 2-1. I think it will be close, though. I think it will be close. But look, once again, some really exciting fixtures this weekend in the A-League Men's competition. And so excited right now to announce that on Saturday night, we're going to be doing the first ever double watch-along. And it's going to be hectic. Usually, we just do the one game, but double the action, man, so it should be a lot of fun. Saturday night. 7:30 p.m. is when we're starting, Australian Eastern Daylight Time. Melbourne Victory, Central Coast Mariners. Of course, my Mariners, man. I'm going to be paying close attention to that game. But we'll also be keeping an eye on Macarthur FC, Adelaide United, which is happening down there in Campbelltown as well. So join me here live on YouTube, 7:30 p.m. this Saturday for the live double watch along, reacting to all the action. Make sure you're there in the live chat to join all of the insanity that I'm sure we're going to experience. Hey guys, enjoy this weekend of football. Thanks for watching this video. If you have enjoyed it and you want to show your support, make sure you hit like. It does help out a lot. And hit subscribe if you want to stay up to date to all of the A-League content. See you on Monday for the round review.